Congresswoman Anna Paulina is the mastermind behind this new website to exonerate Tory Lanez. And it all stemmed from a tweet that she posted a week ago where she says in 36 hours, we will be releasing new bombshell information that would exonerate Tory Lanez. It wasn't released within 36 hours, but instead they started a website coined after the term 36 hours later and released all the information on that website. A lot of people have questioned her motives, why a Congresswoman, a Republican at that, wants to get involved in a Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion hip-hop drama. But she just came out to say she's involved because she truly believes that Tory Lanez was railroaded by a corrupt democratic system. Tory's team did a great job at telling the full story and not just bombarding us with new information right away. One of the initial pieces in the first step, they pointed out information that contradicted the storyline that Tory Lanez told Megan Thee Stallion's dance big and then fired 6 shots at her. They released footage of Megan Thee Stallion admitting that she stepped on glass, but not just that. In this interaction with the police, Megan Thee Stallion was very concerned about her going to jail and her being in trouble. And to me, that's very strange. A gunshot victim being really concerned about the police discovering something that could send her to jail doesn't make sense to me. And this isn't Megan Thee Stallion's first run-in with the law. Megan Thee Stallion has a long rap sheet, bro. Megan Thee Stallion has multiple mugshots out there. So Megan Thee Stallion understands the law. If you did nothing wrong and you are the gunshot victim, why would you be going to jail for getting shot?
What's that?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, you guys are, then I don't think...
I really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
And I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you?
But
Glass? Where?
where we were coming from, but I'm not from here, so
Okay. I didn't get shot. Oh, man. I mean, no such.
She was also very concerned about her image and how this story would make her look. The storyline of getting super drunk at Kylie Jenner's house, trying to fight Kylie Jenner, fighting your best friend, fighting a man that night, being exposed for sleeping with the man that your best friend is doing a sneaky link with, that looks bad for you. That looks horrible. And then stepping on a glass because you're super intoxicated and you're just drunk looks horrible. But the storyline of this really angry man shot at you because you stood up for yourself, now that storyline looks wonderful for your career. So you could understand how that got concocted as soon as she picked up that phone and called Rock Nation about the quote-unquote incident afterwards. I can almost tell you how that conversation went, bruh. Don't say nothing. Let's intervene. Let's try to get this all cleaned up. Because looking like a horrible drunk who was sleeping with your best friend's man looks crazy. Now, the police didn't just take her word for it. The police did their investigation at the scene. And at the scene, they discovered enough evidence to show that Megan Thee Stallion stepped on glass. Which is why when the police charged Tory Lanez initially, they only charged Tory Lanez for gun possession because they found a gun, I think, on the passenger side of the vehicle.
Shooting or anything? That's how we got dispatched.
Well, we have the gun here, and then we have other units. They're searching the house where it happened. So that's all we have so far.
So nothing happened in this vehicle.
No, we don't have any casings. No.
Okay, from what you've been told.
And then there's some cash over. Looks like.
Was the person you got caught with the other people here that you have in handcuffs? Were they all together?
They were all together.
Yes, they were all in the same car.
Okay. And then, do we know how she got cut?
I believe when she stepped down, there's a glass.
She dropped a glass bottle, and then I think she stepped on it and cut herself. And getting out of the vehicle.
Okay. So her friends didn't cut her then.
Right.
Oh, well. Yeah.
corruption here is crazy. The police officer literally watched her with her own eyes, seen her in 4K with her own eyes, stepping on the bottle and then began to limp. She, with her...
Oh, she put herself.
The corruption here is crazy. The police officer literally watched her with her own eyes, seen her in 4K with her own eyes, stepping on the bottle and then began to limp. She stepped on the bottle in front of the police officers. You just heard her say, oh man, she just stepped on the bottle and she cut her. So if they watched her step on the bottle, cut herself open, probably had some fragments go in the open wound because she's walking on literal glass at the time. How does this equate to Tory Lanez popped at her? Now, I do believe a gun was shot that night. Don't get me wrong. A gun was indeed shot that night. But I don't think that gun is what penetrated Megan Thee Stallion's skin.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
What's that?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
What woman you know who just got shot is talking that calmly, is that composed, is that stoic? A gunshot victim is that composed, that stoic? It's kind of like somebody just sitting on the curb, man, like just waiting for the police to go away.
It's your mac and cheese.
Is that, come on, bro. Bro, anybody with a brain can look at this and say, bro, what are we doing here, bro? How do we go from this to somebody being in jail right now for 10 plus years? This is crazy. And they even showed the hospital footage where Megan Thee Stallion is telling the doctors, yeah, I stepped on glass, it's whatever.
And so what happened with you were just one ball stick on the ground. I don't really feel my right foot. I just stepped on glass the other day. So you were already hurt and you got into it and then at that point you just your friends were running back from the hospital.
Pay attention to her saying, I stepped on glass the other day too. So she already had an open wound. And that would make sense when we get to the gun and the bullet fragments and other things involved in this case. But I stepped on glass the other day too. So hence when she stepped on glass tonight, it just re-aggravated the open wounds she already had. They provided the full timeline to expose the story that Megan Thee Stallion told of, I try to protect Tory Lanez initially, but the only reason I'm saying he shot me now is because he spoke out first. They provided a timeline to show that was an absolute lie. She did not say she stepped on glass initially to protect Tory Lanez, and she didn't change her mind because Tory Lanez spoke out first. That's a lie. So the timeline here goes. Megan posted about being shot on July 15, 2020. Megan names Tory Lanez to the police the following day, on July 16th of 2020. Tory Lanez haven't gone public yet. July 27th, Megan Thee Stallion goes live on Tory Lanez's birthday. Specifically, this was her first live. It goes on August 20th, Megan Thee Stallion publicly names Tory Lanez as the shooter. But she already named Tory Lanez as a shooter to the police already, okay? And she goes live on his birthday to taunt him. Continues. Daystar tweets for the first time. So this is when Tory Lanez first tweet to clear his name. Tory Lanez goes live October 20th. This is the first time Tory Lanez goes live to clear his name. So they like, hold on, bro. If you told the police you like got shot, you got shot like the day afterwards, and you only told them you stepped on glass to protect Tory Lanez, then one, why'd you tell the police you got shot the day after? And then why did you go public naming Tory Lanez when Tory Lanez hadn't spoken or done any press whatsoever? Peep how Megan said in her statement, the narrative that's been reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate. She would claim that she was a victim, that she suffered a gunshot wound, and that they pulled bullets from out of her legs. She says, I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. Bullets? There was no bullets found in Megan Thee Stallion's leg. And the reason why Megan Thee Stallion was worried about being arrested, because if you look at the pictures they took at the police station of Kelsey's legs had nothing but cuts and scratches on it. Megan Thee Stallion did a number on Kelsey, and she bragged about it in her song. Alright, you could literally see in the song the lyric says, "Who a snitch? I ain't never went to the police," with no names. So this is a song called Shots Fired by Megan Thee Stallion. She raps. Who a snitch? I ain't never went to the police with no names. I thought a bitch that got her chain snatched called a laws have something to say. Hey, you think it's out of the realm of possibility that Kelsey, after getting whooped on by a woman 4 to 5 inches taller than her with about 50 pounds on her, you think it's out of the realm of possibility that she picked up a gun to defend herself? I don't think so. And this storyline, my perspective, lines up with what the only eyewitness said. What I think happened, my theory, is Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey got into a brutal fight. Tory Lanez tried to break it up. Kelsey grabbed a gun and fired shots at Megan Thee Stallion. The shots missed. However, the bullet fragments ricocheted. And they ricocheted and got into her foot due to the open wound she already had from stepping on glass in the prior days. And then when they all got back in the vehicle, right? And when they all got back into the vehicle, I believe what took place was Megan Thee Stallion then hopped out the vehicle, stepped on glass further, re-aggravate the wound, made the wound look so much more crazy. The police said, "What the heck is this?" That's what happened. That's the only story that makes sense, and the eyewitness account backs that up. Here is Sean Kelly, the only eyewitness of this case, telling the police that he seen Kelsey shoot Megan Thee Stallion, or fire shots at Megan Thee Stallion. The shots missed.
Wait.
They shot out of the car?
Well, the windows were all shut, that's why it sounded either way. Yeah, I
No,
really
they were on my side.
You talking mac
Girls
potatoes?
with doors, 2 girls fighting, and then they
You
shot.
mac and cheese, mac potatoes?
She got out of the door.
Doors of the Escalade open and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger
Yeah,
and she opens up the car door.
yeah.
And then what happens?
They start, they're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The 2 girls.
Yeah, I can see one like feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to, I'll tell you and then I want to get, my son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand. And it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically the cop stopped, the girl in the back got out, started screaming, shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously that why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming, she starts hitting the girl. The girl on the passenger side, her feet come out, she starts to kick the girl away. On the passenger, they get out, they start fighting here, they start fighting. The driver comes round and tries to sort of break it up. It's a bit more violent, and between them, the girl then climbs back into the front row of the passenger seat.
Where's the shorter black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
Then the gun. Then the girl shoots into so the driver's door's open.
And you're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you? Is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark, and I'm above, so. But then the guy gets out again from the back.
And you want to know what happened to the only eyewitness who identified the woman shooting at Megan Thee Stallion? That eyewitness came to court. And when he got to court, the prosecutors took him upstairs. Now, the eyewitness was the defense witness. The defense was who called the eyewitness. The prosecutors didn't want to call the eyewitness. The defense called him. But when he got to court, Tory Lanez and his family watched the prosecutors take that eyewitness upstairs, and when he came back downstairs, he didn't speak to Tory Lanez, looked nobody in their eyes, went to the stand and completely changed up his story.
When we sat outside, my wife and I, we saw this gentleman come in, and we sat down, and it was identified for us that, oh, this is Mr. Sean Kelly. He's sitting across from us on the other side of the hallway. And as we sat there, the prosecution came out, one of their detectives, or investigators rather, and one of the prosecutors, they took this gentleman, they went upstairs, I believe it was to the 14th floor at that time. By the time this man came down, the witness they did not want to call, this man came down and his testimony became so embellished with other nonsense that people who saw it just looked at it and said, this is crazy.
Imagine telling the police seconds, minutes after the incident, everything you just saw fresh on your mind, and then a year and a half later, you go to tell that same story you told the police, and the prosecutors walk you upstairs, walk you back downstairs, and your entire testimony changed. Now all of a sudden you've seen Tory Lanez shooting. This to me is the corruptness that went on. Also, by the way, the owner of the gun, the prosecutors sealed that information. The owner of the gun, the name of the owner, got sealed. Nobody knows. All right. Tory Lanez's DNA was not found on the gun. It was actually 0.01% of his DNA found. But what that means is that's damn near like a billion black people, right, share like 0.01% of DNA. So his DNA was not found on the gun. The eyewitness is saying Kelsey shot Meg. Megan Thee Stallion is admitting, hey, listen, man, I stepped on glass the other day. I already had an open wound. The gunshot probably got fired at her by Kelsey. She probably stepped on bullet fragments that went into her foot, bruh. And also, by the way, the bullet fragments that got pulled out of her foot, those bullet fragments mysteriously went missing. They can't be found. They lost the evidence. And Tory Lanez still got convicted in court. To me, this is the example of being railroaded. But let me know what you think. I really want to know. All right, let me know your honest opinion about this, bro. Not what you heard, no, your honest opinion. And if you're still watching this, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, This man done came out and he's claiming that he had a threesome with Nipsey Hussle.